chess, and Donald Trump just made a strategic move to get back in to the White House. Hello, friends. I pose to you a question today. Can we make policy change without getting in? Can we make legislation without winning elections? Can we truly make transformational change in this country without having the White House, without having the Senate, and without having the House of Representatives? Can we truly make change without winning elections? I pose those questions to you, and in the comments, we can have a conversation about what we're going to talk about today. So, I will see you in the comments, and we will iron it out. Just be respectful, be kind, but lay it out. But just be clean about it. That's all I ask. So, let's get into the conversation. Hello, friend, and welcome to my channel. I am Amania, also known as the Conservative Poet. And here on the channel, I make political commentary, reaction videos. I use some parody and so on to bring my points across. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you stay tuned. So President Trump has been teasing the public with an announcement, and I want to just read a tweet here that he put out, or a truth as it is. He says, "I will be putting out a statement on abortion and abortion rights tomorrow morning. Republicans and all others must follow their hearts and minds. But remember that, like President Ronald Reagan before me, I and most other Republicans believe in exceptions for rape and incest and life of the mother. Great love and compassion must be shown when even thinking about the subject of life. But at the same time, we must use common sense in realizing that we have an obligation to the salvation of our nation, which is currently serious decline, to win elections, without which we will have nothing other than failure, death, and destruction. We will not let that happen. We will make America great again." So, as promised, he came out and he gave his statement. And we're going to look at that in a minute. But first, would you believe that because of what he said, there were folks out there with the pitchforks? Some of them had hammers, such as Lindsey Graham and the traitor himself, Mike Pence. They all had issues with what Donald Trump said. Now, is it because they are people who we would call maybe in the party rhinos? Or are they people who fundamentally does not want America to win, does not want the conservatives to win, does not want America to win because their politics seems to only want to destroy us as a country? Because again, they are not playing strategically, not playing with common sense. With useless people like Lindsey Graham and Mike Pence, there were other voices that came out. And some of them had understanding in reference to what it is that President Trump is trying to do. And it makes perfect sense. It makes common sense. All right, let's get into it right now. Bring back those babies, because we want to kill them. What a meme. Donald Trump saving babies. And it looks like it's from the witch herself, Nancy Pelosi.
Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the ninth month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart, or in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people. It's up to the states to do the right thing. Like Ronald Reagan, I am strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. You must follow your heart on this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country, which is currently and very sadly a nation in decline.
Seen that, heard that. Good. Hello, fellow patriots. Thank you so much for your support. And again, you can do so by purchasing products from the Orlando Patriots, mugs, t-shirts, all of your patriotic gear. We are in an election year, so we need to show the world that we support our candidates, especially President Trump. So get some gear at theorlandopatriot.com and you'll get 30% off. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. I'll see you there. I happen to agree. President Trump says we have to play this thing smart. So, yes, we want to have zero abortion, period. But in order to make those kinds of dreams come true, you've got to be able to win the office. You've got to be able to win the seat. So, putting on a national ban or stating that to him, putting on a national ban, what that's going to do, it's going to drive the Democrats out even more because, again, our rights are under attack. Our women's rights are under attack. Is under attack, and we've got to fight. And this is what they say, and this is what they do. So we cannot come out here and say, oh yeah, we want a national ban. Because guess what? We're not going to win any elections, especially in the states. We're not going to win. We had a race in my neck of the woods, just a special election just a couple of months ago, and we lost it big. We lost it big. Why? Because the opponent on the other side talked about saving women, saving women's rights. And we were out here, stop abortion, stop abortion. Guess what? The other side won. And now we have less seats in the Florida House. We lost a seat, a very, very red seat, and we lost it. Same thing, Glenn Youngkin in Virginia during the midterms. Do I need to say more? Do I need to say more? We'll let Kamala talk about it. Let's hear what Kamala has to say about it.
Joe Biden has been very clear from the beginning that when we send to the United States Congress a majority of Congress members who believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, and they pass a law putting back in place the protections of Roe, he will sign it into law. He has also been very clear that if there were a national abortion ban, which is what a lot of these so-called leaders are pushing, including the former president being, a part of a group of people who have been pushing for that. Joe Biden has been very clear. If there were a national abortion ban that was proposed, he would veto it. So elections matter because the vote that people have coming up in November is going to decide who will occupy the White House for the next 4 years. And the question before everyone then is, do you want a president who believes in protecting fundamental freedoms, or a president who is proud to take away freedoms and take away freedoms from women?
Well, lying Kamala. There she just said that President Trump is an advocate or is trying to have a national ban on abortion. And when the man just said that he has no such positions, that it goes back to the states decide what you want to do, your state decide. And she said Joe Biden, in a minute, in a New York second, would sign a bill to put abortion as the law of the land. They would do it. But Donald Trump is saying, no, let the people decide. We want to take it out of the hands of the federal government and let the people decide. He just said that. But you just heard her say that Donald Trump wants a national ban on abortion. Liar, liar. Pants on fire. Seen that, heard that, good. They never want to answer the question as to how far is too far. How far are you willing to go when it comes to taking life? 8 months? 5 months? 9 months? On the operating table afterwards? How far is too far? They don't have a cap on that. Hear somebody tell it better.
This issue. He wants we the people to have the power to make this decision. Unlike Joe Biden and the Democrats, who are wildly out of touch with the American public, they support abortions up until the moment of birth, and they want taxpayers to fund it. More than 80% of the country disagrees with Joe Biden, and he should answer the question, do you support any restrictions, Joe? Because he hasn't answered it yet. He continues to dodge it, so we must assume that he supports aborting an unborn child until the moment of birth and even after.
Their message to the American people or to the world is that we support abortion on demand. We support your right to kill. We support your women's rights. We support you. And Donald Trump, well, he's against you. The Republicans, they're against you. They don't want you killing your baby. They don't want you killing your baby. They don't want you to kill your baby. Those darn Democrats. But they do want you to kill your baby. They want you to go out here, sin, living la vida loca. Sex every day, bow, bow, doing everywhere, bow, bow. Then just go ahead and have an abortion. Just go ahead and kill your baby. As I said earlier, Brutus came out to put in his 2 cents in the conversation. And so his whole thing was that President Trump is pretty much slapping the face of the American pro-lifers. This is what President Trump is doing. It's a retreat, he says. Let's read it. Former Vice President Mike Pence criticized former President Donald Trump's position on abortion Monday, calling it a retreat on the right to life and a slap in the face to pro-life Americans. Brutus, et tu, Brute, again. Shouldn't you be taking a different stance when it comes to this conversation about Trump? Look at him. God, he looks so miserable. Et tu, Brute, traitor. Here is President Trump's remarks to Brutus and all the other rhinos, including Senator Lindsey Graham. And he says, Senator Lindsey Graham is doing a great disservice to the Republican Party and our country. At first, he wanted no abortion under any circumstance. Then he was up to 6 weeks where you're allowed to have abortion. Now he's up to 15 weeks where you're allowed to have abortion. But what he doesn't understand, or perhaps he does understand, is that the radical left, Democrats, who are destroying our country, will never, ever, ever approve anything that he or the Republicans want. They love this issue and they want to keep it going for as long as Republicans will allow them to do so. Terminating Roe v. Wade was, according to all legal scholars, a great event. But sometimes with great events comes difficulties. Many good Republicans lost elections because of this issue. And people like Lindsey Graham that are unrelenting are handing Democrats their dream of the House, Senate, and perhaps even the presidency. True words by Donald J. Trump. That's why the Republican Party can never move forward because of people like Lindsey Graham and Mike Pence, these weakling of so-called leaders. And this is why. It's because they do not have a vision of how to win anything. They capitulate because they don't have any vision on how to win anything. So this is what they do. This is what they offer. You know, they always come out here, jump out here to criticize in reference to anything, but they never have any plans on how to fix anything. They never have any plans. Lindsey Graham is quick to jump on whatever news station will let him come on here and speak, and never have any answers. Never. That's why I can't stand these rhinos. I can't stand them. I just can't. Even though President Trump had critics on his side of the aisle and on the other side of the aisle, but he also had some fighters and some champions and some people who saw and see what we need to do is exactly what President Trump has said, is exactly what we need to do. Here is Kristi Noem.
Your reaction to Donald Trump's statement on abortion?
Well, the president is exactly right. And his thoughts and his heart is with women in crisis that are facing these situations with precious babies. Every state will look different. We may hold personal beliefs as elected officials. I'm personally pro-life, but every state will look different. And it is about the will of the people. And I've never seen the federal government come in on a tough issue and offer a solution and fix it. In fact, the reality of a federal bill passing through the Senate and through the House just isn't there. So why are we talking about it? People have more of an input and more of a way to frame their state laws and what it looks like in their state with our state legislators who are their neighbors and their businessmen and women. Talk to them and have that conversation. And that's exactly what President Trump was saying.
The great Kristi Noem. Common sense thinking, common sense strategy, common sense pathway for us to actually win elections. Because guess what? I don't know about you, but I am tired of losing elections. I am tired of all of a sudden the numbers don't work out. This happens, that happens. We're not even going to bring up the 2020 election. We're just not going to even bring it up. But again, we all know how that went. And I've said it over and over and over again. If we don't fix what happened in 2020, 2024 is a dream. 2022 midterms, bloodbath, no red wave. So I don't know about you, but I'm tired of losing elections. And so I am all the way with Donald Trump on this because we need a pathway to win. We cannot do any kind of business if we don't win. When we get in there, then we can do what we want. We can fix what we want. We can write whatever policy. We can write whatever legislation. We can do what we need to do. But until we can get into the seat, friends, we're cutting ourselves off at the neck. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching, sharing, and subscribing. I'm going to leave you with one clip, but I'm going to say my goodbyes now. It's just been so really great, this whole movement with the channel. Thank you all for everything that you do, and I will see you in another video. And right now we're going to have a word from Father Frank is going to close us out. He is an advocate for life, and he stands with Donald Trump when it comes to this issue. So, thank you guys again. I'll see you in another video. God bless you. God keep you. And here's Father Frank.
Hey, friends, I want to thank President Donald J. Trump for his statement today on abortion policy. You know, it really wasn't surprising. He emphasized themes that we've been emphasizing for a long time. Number one, we're ready to help women have their babies. So we look forward to public policies that are going to make it easier for people to say no to abortion and yes to life. And most Americans agree that that's what should happen. Secondly, he pointed out the extremism of the Democrats. Listen, they want abortion without any exceptions whatsoever. And this is a binary election. It's not between President Trump and somebody who you might think is even more pro-life. It's between President Trump and the abortion extremists. So, I mean, it's one or the other who's going to be the next president. And so we have to keep pointing out the extremism of the Democrats. And then he says, look, the reality is we have a nation divided on abortion right now. He got rid of Roe v. Wade. Remember, Roe v. Wade prevented the people from protecting the unborn. Now we're able to protect them. We are protecting them and will continue to protect them. When he talks about the will of the people, what I hear there is, hey, we have to have an honest, open debate about abortion in this country. Roe v. Wade didn't allow for that. It was imposing a dogma of a right to abortion that doesn't exist. Now, look, every life must be protected. There is no exception to this. No abortion, not even a single abortion in any circumstance, is ever okay. But neither is it ever okay for someone to own a slave. And what President Trump said today reminds me of the founding of this country. You know, our founding fathers didn't put an absolute prohibition of slavery into the Constitution from day one. Why didn't they do that? Because the Constitution would have never gotten adopted. They knew they had to get the nation started. But the Constitution itself then became the very mechanism by which slavery was abolished. So it is today. We have a nation divided on abortion. For those who would want President Trump to stand up and say there has to be an absolute policy against abortion, which of course is where we need to end up. Right now, he's saying we have to save the nation first. The Democrats want to destroy not only the right to life of the unborn, they want to destroy free and fair elections, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Look what they're doing to pro-life people. They're putting them in prison. President Trump is saying, no, we're going to stop that. We're going to save the nation, and then the will of the people can continue to hammer out policy on abortion. This is the mechanism. Saving the nation in this election, re-electing President Trump, is precisely the mechanism by which we will get to the day when, as it should be, every abortion